I know this is going to sound cliche, and you've probably heard it a million times before, but I need you to really hear me on this one, because it's the truth that changed everything for me. All the love you're desperately seeking from other people, from your partner, your friends, your family, even from strangers on social media, is actually just a reflection of the love you're not giving yourself. I get it. When someone says you need to love yourself first, it can feel dismissive, like spiritual bypassing. But stay with me, because I'm going to break this down in a way that actually makes sense and gives you a practical path forward. Here's what's really happening when you're constantly seeking validation, approval, affection, and love from outside yourself. You're essentially asking other people to fill a void that only you can fill. You're making them responsible for your emotional well-being, which is not only unfair to them, but impossible for them to sustain. Louise Hay, who transformed millions of lives with this understanding, said, "You have been criticizing yourself for years, and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens." She discovered that every external problem we have stems from our relationship with ourselves. Think about it this way. If you had a friend who constantly criticized themselves, told themselves they weren't good enough, focused on every flaw, and rejected every compliment you gave them, how exhausting would that be? That's what you're doing to yourself every day, and then you're wondering why you need so much external validation to feel okay. Rumi understood this centuries ago when he wrote, "Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. The love isn't missing, the love is there. You've just built walls against receiving it, especially from yourself." Here's the beautiful paradox that spiritual teachers have been pointing to forever. The moment you stop desperately needing love from others and start genuinely giving it to yourself, you become magnetic to love. When you're no longer operating from lack and need, you start attracting people who can actually love you, rather than people who are drawn to your neediness. Marianne Williamson explains this perfectly in A Return to Love. She says that our deepest fear isn't that we're inadequate, but that we're powerful beyond measure. We're afraid of our own light, our own lovability, our own magnificence, so we dim ourselves and look for others to affirm what we're too scared to claim for ourselves. But here's what I want you to understand. Learning to love yourself isn't about becoming narcissistic or self-absorbed. It's about developing the same compassion, kindness, and acceptance for yourself that you would show to someone you truly care about. Thich Nhat Hanh teaches that if you cannot love yourself, you cannot truly love another person. This isn't because you're selfish, but because you can only give what you have. If your well is empty, if you're running on fumes, if you're constantly criticizing and rejecting yourself, that's the energy you're bringing to all your relationships. Here's how to actually start this practice, because I know it can feel overwhelming. Begin small. Instead of trying to love everything about yourself immediately, start with one tiny thing. Maybe it's appreciating that your heart has been beating your entire life without you having to think about it. Maybe it's acknowledging that you're trying your best with the awareness you have right now. Byron Katie asks, what would it feel like to let yourself off the hook? What if you stopped making yourself wrong for being human, for making mistakes, for not being perfect? What if you treated yourself with the same grace you'd show a child who was learning something new? Self-love isn't about thinking you're perfect. It's about accepting yourself as you are while you grow into who you're becoming. It's about being your own best friend instead of your worst critic. It's about speaking to yourself the way you would speak to someone you adore. Matt Kahn has this beautiful teaching about loving yourself so completely that you become a walking invitation for others to do the same. When you stop abandoning yourself, you stop attracting people who abandon you. When you stop rejecting yourself, you stop attracting people who reject you. The goal isn't to never need love from others. We're human. We're wired for connection. But the goal is to love yourself so fully that you can receive love from others as a bonus, not as a necessity for your survival. You can appreciate love when it comes without being desperate when it doesn't. Think about the people in your life who you find most attractive, most magnetic. I bet they're not the ones who are constantly seeking validation. They're the ones who seem comfortable in their own skin, who don't need your approval to feel good about themselves. That's the energy of self-love. Osho said, "Love yourself and then love will happen through you." When you fill your own cup first, you have so much more to give. When you stop looking for people to complete you, you can find people to complement you. Here's your practice. Every morning, look in the mirror and find one thing to appreciate about yourself. Not just physically, but something about your character, your efforts, your growth. Talk to yourself the way you would talk to your dearest friend. Catch yourself when you're being self-critical and ask, would I say this to someone I love? Forgive yourself for your mistakes. Celebrate your progress. Acknowledge your efforts. Be proud of how far you've come. Stop waiting for permission from others to feel good about yourself. The love you're seeking is already inside you. It always has been. You just forgot how to access it. But it's time to remember. It's time to come home to yourself. Because when you do, you'll realize you never needed anyone else to complete you. You were always whole. You just needed to remember how to love the wholeness that you are. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonates, drop us a heart to show you have made it till the end. These videos are made as a guide to help you reconnect with knowledge kept within you. Take what resonates within you and release the rest. Follow the page for more content, or buy my 100 messages from the Universe book for daily guidance. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep shining your light.